All right. Okay, are we ready? Is Zhimin Fashi ready? Okay, please join hands. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Amitabha. Good evening, everyone. Oh, wow, we have Verbal Miaojin with us tonight. Yay! Hi. Thank you for joining us tonight. And we are talking about the precept today. Well, kind of Po Guangshan is in the precept atmosphere recently because like last week we just have a training course for 3 days talking about the precept. And also I just got a message from Po Guangshan the how to call 人间佛教研究院. Yeah, they just released a new journal. And it's also the topic is about the precept. Well, anyway, let's go back to our topic tonight. And Zhimin Fashi, you can share your PPT and lead us through the study. Thank you.
We can't hear you.
Now, can you hear me?
Oh, yes, that's good.
Okay, thank you. So, good evening, everyone. Today, our topic is 10 Sramanera precepts that we took from the Buddha Dharma Pure and Simple. So, we will start from the first. As like before, I will ask someone to be a volunteer to read first the article. Thank you. And
3-minute alarm set for 8:08 p.m.
Okay, I'll read it first of all.
yeah,
Is it shared already?
already here. This one is the topic first. Is writing there the Buddha Dharma Pure and Simple. They said the Buddha had long instructed that precept could be amended. Why did no one comply? And should Buddhism still have meaningless precepts that no one can uphold? This the topic that we will focus on it. Okay, and then please, Arvin.
Okay. Precepts are the foundation upon which the survival of the Buddhist order depends on. As the saying goes, without the use of a compass or ruler as a gauge, perfect squares and circles cannot be drawn. Likewise, precept serves as the roots and basis in the Buddhist order. Hence, there are 5 precepts, precepts of the three refuges, 10 wholesome precepts, and the Bodhisattva precepts. There are also precepts for the bhikshus, bhiksunis, upasakas, upasikas, sramaneras, and sramaneris. In short, each part of the sevenfold assembly have their respective precepts to uphold and regulations to follow.
Yes, and from this 3 paragraph, I can give the keyword, the precept as a foundation, compass, ruler, and gauge. And the second one is a sevenfold assembly have their respective precepts. Okay, so next, who will be the volunteer? Peter?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay, everyone.
It must be pointed out that the precepts should be upholdable. If one takes the precepts in name only, or is fixated on its phrasing or form, precepts will only hinder the progress of Buddhism. What then is the use of precepts? Back when the Buddha established precepts, he had repeatedly stated that some of the precepts could be disregarded or amended depending on circumstances. Even as he was about to enter parinirvana, the Buddha still reminded Ananda that very minor precepts could be forgone.
Mm. And the keyword for this is the precepts should be upholdable. And then the second one is the precept could be disregarded or amended depending on circumstances. Okay, next.
There
I'll
are
go.
many
Oh,
there are
okay.
many pragmatic ways of upholding precepts. Take abstaining from killing as an example.
Mm.
As recorded in the Jataka tales, there once was a bandit who wanted to kill all 500 merchants on board a ship. When the Buddha found out about this, he killed the bandit. Although there are still karmic consequences, the severity of its effect differ depending on the causes of killing. This is similar to how a nation's laws have different punishments for suicide, homicide, accomplice in killing, revenge killing, negligent homicide, and manslaughter.
Yes. So the keyword here is Jataka tales. It's talk about the bandit story. And then the second one is the similar to how a nation law different punishment. Okay. And next. Ube.
Precepts are complicated, as a nation's criminal law should be amended according to the needs of the country over time, so too should precepts. During the Buddha's time, as bhikshus spread the Dharma in various places, precepts were adapted according to culture, weather, language, lifestyle, and customs. Precepts were not meant to be universal. However, later
Okay.
generations, oh, sorry.
It's okay.
So,
It's okay.
however, I'm holding the book. However, later generations of stubborn disciples falsely proclaimed in the name of the Buddha that the precepts set by the Buddha must not be changed, nor should precepts not set by the Buddha be added. Thus, the Buddhist precepts were set in stone. But, as the saying goes, the Dharma is not fixed. Dharma is as flexible as life and can be changed according to the circumstances. How would an inflexible Dharma be useful?
Yeah, so here there is a contradictory between this. They said the stubborn disciple will set the precept it's in the stone, so it will be forever. But in the other paragraph said that, oh, the Dharma is not fixed, right? And how, but the point is, how is Dharma to be useful? Okay, next. Cool.
I can read.
Yes, Jose, thank you.
Similarly, take Taiwan's current regulations for religious affairs as an example. The act of supervising temples has remained unchanged even after nearly a century. Yet, present-day society is completely different from that of 100 years ago. Temples today are managed completely out of accordance with that regulation. Therefore, if an organization or a country does not value, amend, or adapt the law, it will certainly weaken and decline.
Yeah. So the point here is the present day society is completely different from 2,600 years ago. And second is not amend or adapt will weaken and decline for Buddhism. And who is the next?
Can I read it, Master?
Yes, thank you, Lisa.
Regarding the 10 Sramanera precepts, the precepts are: number 1, refrain from killing; 2, refrain from stealing; 3, refrain from sexual conduct or misconduct; 4, refrain from lying; 5, refrain from intoxicants; 6, refrain from wearing personal adornments; 7, refrain from partaking in music and dancing; 8, refrain from sleeping on luxurious and high beds. 9, refrain from eating at inappropriate times. And 10, refrain from carrying money and valuables.
Okay.
Excuse me, I have to correct. Number 3 is refrain from sexual conduct because this is 10 Sramanera precept. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you. So this, yeah, 10 Sramanera precept. And then, please be the next. How many people we have? Okay, okay, I will read it. I will read it. Are the 10 Sramanera precepts observable by today great bhikshus? If they cannot be upheld by the even bhikshus, how can Sramanera possible to do it? Take refraining from sleeping on luxurious or high beds as an example. Nowadays, the floor in many countries is too damp to be suitable for sleeping. It is a must to sleep on the high beds to reduce the harmful effects from dampness. Okay, so the keyword is refrain sleeping on lux and high beds, and is it observable? Okay, next. Want to be a volunteer, or we just again from Erwin? It's quite long.
Okay. As for the precepts on refraining from carrying money and valuables, how can one travel by plane or bus to propagate the Dharma without money? It is likewise for the precept on refraining from eating at inappropriate times. It means not eating after noon and waiting until breakfast the next morning before eating again. Going on an empty stomach for 17 to 18 hours is not good for gastrointestinal health. Should similar precepts be revised given modern medical knowledge and social conditions?
Okay. And then who's next?
Still, no one dares to raise the issue of revising the precepts. Anyone who tried would immediately face high-handed language from elder monastics and be reprimanded for their audacious attempt to modify the Buddha's precepts. But in actuality, the Buddha had long instructed that precepts could be amended. Why did no one comply? Should Buddhism still have meaningless precepts that no one can uphold? Buddhist sutras and Vinaya were the first cumulative result by the 5 Buddhist councils of the past.
Okay, thank you.
As it has since been 2,000 to 3,000 years since the last council, is it not time to revise the Vinaya again? For the sevenfold assembly to be able to properly uphold the 4 fundamental precepts of Buddhism is already a feat in itself. As for the other 270 precepts for the bhikkhus and the 350 precepts for the bhikkhusnis, is it possible to recite and uphold them all without violating even a single one?
Yeah. Okay, next. Ube?
Consequently, why not revise Buddhist precepts according to the 3 major Buddhist reforms of teachings, asset management and system, as advocated by Master Taishi? Is it Taishi or Taishu?
Taishu.
Taishi. The Vinaya is a system. Past Buddhist masters of China were wise to understand that the Vinaya established in India were unsuitable in China due to geographical and lifestyle differences. To avoid violating the Vinaya, the masters established additional pure rules for observance.
Okay, thank you.
Can I read it?
Yeah, your turn.
Therefore, Master Taishu's call for the reform of Buddhist system should be heeded. It is a pity that Buddhists find it easier to let go of their attachment to the self than attachment to the Dharma. Without knowing the needs of current times, societal demands, or people's hearts, Many people attach to the Buddha Dharma and to the past, but are they really able to adhere to all the rules of the past? Hopefully in the future, the Buddhist community could ponder these issues and bring about a reform.
Okay. And then this the keyword in front before we start to read the article. So anyone still remember? For Ube, don't look the the book. No, like, just kidding. Yes.
The precepts could be amended, Safo.
Yeah, could be amended. Great. And then the second one, why did no one
Comply.
comply? Yeah. And should Buddhism still have? Okay, it's okay. I will be the next slide.
If I know,
Should Buddhism still have meaningless precepts that no one can uphold? So this the Venerable Master Singin to bring this topic for us to think about how the precepts can be upholdable, and then how it can be bring the benefit for us to become better. Yeah. And then, okay, next. So before, may I ask any question? Or I just continue my PPT, and at the last we can discuss about the topic. Okay. So, sorry. So the background, what reason the Buddha set up this precept? Now, before we know the Upali, 10 disciple of the Buddha. He is the barber, and he's come from the lowest kasta. And then Upali needed to go to the other places, but he rejected Buddha's order. Why he rejected? Because of at that time is a rainy season, and he didn't have any change for it. So the Buddha very compassionate and human. So Buddha told the disciple to have 2 sets of clothes for changing to. So when I'm in the Buddhist college, we also only have 2 sets of clothes. So when it's a rainy day, you know, in Taiwan, the typhoon season, and then we do this, but it's simple. It's make our life simple. But this one that I want to introduce to you. This what the background of the precept is established. Okay. So the second is there was a benefactor wants to give offering to Ananda. You know, Ananda is very Chuangyan, yeah. But he wasn't at temple, and but monastic at that time is not allowed to keep the food more than 1 night. Now, because of this case, the Buddha told them the food can stay overnight, so it can be consumed. It's rather than we waste the offering from the devotees. Okay, so the third is Rahula. Rahula is the son of the Siddhartha, right? Prince Siddhartha. Yeah, and he is the first novice monk in the Buddha, in our tradition. Okay, so Rahula, the youngest novice at the monastic order, because there are a lot of snake in forest. So Buddha decide 2 monks need to take care to the novice. So Buddha allow monk and novice to live together. And then the fourth is, as we know the rule that we cannot eat after 12 noon, it will be so troublesome in certain area, right? Especially in for Fokongsan monastic order, we need to work until very late of night. And then if we're not eating, how can we concentrate? No lah, but it's also not good for our gastric problem, right? Our, how to say this one? Yeah, okay. So, it will be,
Spam, Sifu.
huh?
It's not good. It's not good if you have if you miss your meals, that you will get acid.
Yes, and then also will be a diabetic, right? Like the story of Master Xingyan, he not eating for 1 day when he going to the Taipei. Okay, So this one maybe suitable at that time, but it can be applicable to this some of the the Buddha tradition, Buddhist tradition, because some of the Buddhist tradition maybe they will not many activity and they do meditation and is not to consume many energy, right? So maybe it will be acceptable in some tradition, okay? And maybe for the monastic Mahayana tradition, especially for Fokwangsan, and I think it's need to be we need to be compassionate to look for the everyone's need. Okay, is it agree or we can discuss in this PPT? It will be okay, or I just keep talking. Okay, so next, and if you have question, you just talking, yeah. Thank you.
Venerable Zimi, can you speak a little bit slower?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, when I got nervous, I will speak very fast. Okay, thank you. Yes, Peter.
Peter.
So I just want to understand if every area of the world, different countries have different needs. So is the idea to have different precepts for all monastic orders, or do they should all abide by one single precept? Do you know what I mean? Is it Japan have their own precept, China have their own precept, the West have their own precept? Is that the idea? Or is it just all the monastics should adapt to one single set of precepts?
Yeah, as what I know, the precepts and Vinaya, we call Sila and Vinaya. Sila is for the monastic. The Sila is a fix. It's a fix. But as what the article said that Dharma is not a fixed Dharma, right? So Dharma can be flexible, follow the situation and condition, but the precepts is the monk is the same. The precepts, but because the precepts is established after the Buddha parinibbana, so we need to know the precepts, the source of the precepts. Some of the precepts say the bhikshus have 250 precepts, but in Mahayana, if they took from the Dharmagupta, it will be like in the article we find that 270. So in every tradition they have own precept, but the precept is similar, but it's just a different school. So they have different precepts. But for the Vinayas means the rules and regulation that met in order to make the Sangha community to become harmony and to protect the Sangha. So it must be, for example, I have me, Master Yohoi, Master Miaoqing, and another venerable. So we decided, okay, this one, the rules that we made, then we need to respect to each other for this rule. And we already agreeable and we need to do that. Yeah, that's called Vinaya. Yeah. But if as Peter asking, it's different? Yeah. The different tradition is have different Sila and Vinaya. It's based on the culture, the geography, and yeah, situation and condition at that time. Thank you. Any question? That I speak very slowly? Thank you. Okay, so we next, yeah. Okay, so
question.
Yes.
Follow up question to Peter's question.
Yes.
So does it mean that, for example, the past precepts, okay, already established that per tradition, per geography, and etc. But the question I think is, because we are discussing that precepts also like Dharma should be flexible. So
Yes.
the question moving forward is, if in Fokwangsan, because monastics are more in
Unwholesome
help the living world, right? So you have more activities. So of course you need to be fed properly, proper meal times, right? But for instance, there is, let's say, Mahayana tradition, but in a different country or area that is not as actively moving around, spreading, propagating like Fokwangshan. So they don't really need the same kind of adaptation. Their set of precepts may also be different. I think that's the question earlier, that when we want to adjust the precepts to meet the present conditions, even if it's in the same Mahayana tradition, can it be that, let's say I'm in Japan, as Peter said, or I'm in the Philippines or somewhere else in Africa, same Mahayana tradition, but different activities going around. So that particular group of monastics can have their own precepts different from the precepts in the Mahayana tradition in Fokwangshan.
Yes, it's good. It can be.
Okay.
Maybe Master Yu Hui adding something, or Master Miao Jing. Yeah, it can be, because okay, we look from the next PPT. So the spirit that why we want to uphold the precepts is, the first things is what? Do not evil and practice all good virtue, right? So the reason why I want to I want to uphold the precepts is because I want to learn, I want to change, I want to transform myself to do not evil again. And I want to practice all good virtue. That's the motivation that we uphold precept. Okay, so the second is freedom. Why is freedom? Because we are free from the evil action. And also the foundations of meditation, if we have the good precepts, it will make our mind become firm. And then it's easily for us to get focus in the meditation. And when we got focus, we know our true nature. And it will become to directed to the prajna. Okay, so the fourth is the cultivation and purification, that we know is the three good act of goodness. Is we need to purification our speech, action, and the thoughts. And this the difference is why we refrain from the 10 unwholesome, is because I respect you. It's because it's my compassion. I want to practice compassion. I want to protect you from my evil doing. Is it agreeable? So when we uphold precepts, it's not like we protect ourselves, but instead that because I want to protect you also. Because I don't want to, from my ignorance, I'm doing the crazy things, and I will hurt you. And because I respect you, you are also have a Buddha nature, and you are a future Buddha. So uphold the precepts, it's contain two things, the main point. The first one is I'm cultivate merit by doing good. And then also, it's also the practice of wisdom and the compassion. The key to upholding precept is to understand the essence of precepts. If we are to attach to the forms of precepts, this one is important. If we are to attach to the form is like this, the precept is blah, 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 blah. And then one is in state bound by the precepts in state of liberated. So we will very attached to the precepts, and when we see our brothers do is different from the precepts, it will become our affliction. Then we always thinking about, hey, why you do that? Why you do that? But maybe people have different condition from us, right? Yeah. For example, like the monastic cannot uphold the money, right? The novice monk cannot uphold money. But nowadays they need to have a good education, right? You don't want to learn from the monk that doesn't have any knowledge. Maybe they will misguiding you. So we need to be diligent to have knowledge and to guide the devotees. But how cool if I cannot go into university because I don't have money. So it's limited to you, and it's become It's become a obstacle rather than to be liberated. Yeah, we not got the point of the why we uphold the precept. Because in Mahayana tradition, our goal is a bodhisattva, right? We need to help people and help myself, and we going through to the liberation together. Okay, any question or we next? We next, yeah, because at the back, I copy from Venerable Master Xing Yun about how he managed Fo Guangsan. Okay. Okay, as we know that they are precept for the laypersons is a 5 precepts. Precept for the Sramaneri, Sramanera is 10 precepts. It's the same. The Sramanera is for the male and the Sramaneri is for the female. Precepts for the bhikkhu, see, I'm writing is 250. A little bit different from the article. And then precept for the bhikshuni, 348 that I accept. And then bodhisattva precepts for the lay and the bodhisattva precepts for the monastic. So bodhisattva precepts also have for the lay person. Okay, it's just like Buddhist study. I just want you to know that the precepts that for the 7 assembly, because in the article we read about the 7 assemblies, right? So 7 assemblies in the Buddhisms, we have laypersons, Sramanera, Sramaneri, bhiksu, bhikshuni, bodhisattva precepts, and the one is a siksa mana precepts. Okay. Yeah. Next. Sramanera is who joins the monastic order but has yet to receive for ordination. So if we learn more about the Sramanera also divided by 3. The 7 years until 13 years old, we say we call them as scarecrow Sramanera. Scarecrow. Okay, and 14 until 19 years old, we said the Dharma responding Sramanera. And then 20 until 70 years old. So Sramanera is not always a child. Okay. It's just Sramanera is who has joined the monastic order but has yet to receive full ordination. So if you see, the Sramanera is already 65 years old. Is it Sramanera or bhiksu? It's depend on the precept that he uphold. If he still uphold the Sramanera precepts, he's still the Sramanera. So Sramanera and bhiksu is not about the how old is he, but is the how many precepts that he uphold. Okay. Okay. So next. Regarding to the 10 Sramanera precepts, yeah, there's any question from these 10 Sramanera precepts? Sorry.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
Master. So
Yeah.
these 10 Sramanera precepts are also observed during the Pakwan Chai Chiema.
For the
Oh, no.
Pakwan Chai Chie is Pa, right? Pa.
Okay.
It means
Yeah,
it's only 8 precept that the uphold. But the Pakwan Chai Chie is upheld by the lay persons. Why is Pakwan Chai Chie is established is because of the compassion of the Buddha. Because many lay persons, they want to practice, they want to experience as monastic. So that's why the Pakwan Chai Chie only limited for 1 day only. Yeah. So one day they do the 8 sila, we call Asta Sila. Asta sila. Asta means 8. Pakuan Jaije. Erwin, yes?
So I just like to ask, maybe some people will ask why Fokongsan is doing Siddhartha. Maybe they read this.
Why? What?
They read
Why?
number 7.
Yeah. Oh,
Refrain from partaking in music and dancing.
yeah. Refrain from partaking in music and dancing.
And then we have Siddhartha the musical.
How if it's the question is asking to you, Erwin, how you answer?
I'll tell them because the public, they like music, and this is our way of sharing the Dharma through music. But
Yes,
again,
I
maybe
also agree.
they're hard-headed, so or I don't know. They will say, "Oh, but you shouldn't do that."
Yeah, you shouldn't do that. It's broken the precept.
But,
So what Ube?
but I think the context of the Sramanera precept on refraining from partaking in music and dancing is like you go wild about it. I think that's the context. But the Siddhartha the musical is not about going wild about, partying like crazy in the discotheque, It's or in the club. It's more of the musical is more of a cultural thing rather than a partying thing. So I think the context is different. This is how I would explain it if I were to be asked.
Yeah.
I
Can
think
I-
it's because
Yeah.
it's okay.
Of course.
Peter, you want to talk? Go ahead, Peter.
It's
Go
Ruan, I
ahead,
think.
Peter.
No,
Ruan?
Ma'am Luisa, mauna na kayo.
Ganun. I think kasi they are not into the Sramanera precepts. They are not taking the Sramanera precepts. Therefore, they did not need to observe. They can still sing and dance.
Yes, I agree. Because we are humanistic Buddhism. You remember what is humanistic Buddhism? There's a 4 keyword, right? What is that? It's based on what the Buddha said. Correct. And then the second one is the people needs. And then the third is what? It must be virtuous, and then 净化的, and it must be the purifying of our karma. So may I ask, is Siddhartha is 佛说的吗? It's from the Buddha, right?
佛的故事.
Yes, right? And then is the human needed like the Dharma musical? Yes, it's more enjoyable, right? It's more like modern that we can talk. Yeah, it's drama musical. It's like Disney. And people will be easily to grab what you're talking about because it's my era. It's my era. And I can know what you it's like a preaching Dharma through the art. Yeah. And then is it virtuous? Yeah. They're teaching about the Dharma, about the Buddha when they enlighten and what they realize, and then after that, what the Buddha's teaching, correct? And then is it purified? Yeah, it's beneficial for us to purify, speak good word, and then do good deeds, and then speak good, and then think good thought. Yeah. So, and then also the same things is Luisa said, yeah, there's not Sramanera. So why not? Correct? Do you believe that if I said even the Arya Kasyapa, Maha Kasyapa, Moho Maha Kasyapa, how to say it in Chinese, I forget. I don't know. Maha Kasyapa, how to say it in Chinese, Master Yohui?
大家社
Yeah. 大家是尊者. There is a one day that 大家叫尊者 is really enlightened, right? They're an arahant. But there is a one day that Mahakasyapa is dancing and singing. And then some people are asking the Buddha, why the Arahant Mahakasyapa is dancing? And the Buddha said the Arahant is still have that's one called is habit. But the intentional is for taking a joy or delight for the self. It's just habit. The habit is still there. So the lesson is we need to diligent to transform our speech, action, and thought. So when our habits come out, it will be wholesome. Yeah.
And
Okay.
Shifu,
So no
Shifu,
more
there's a.
TikTok, Master. No more
Oh,
TikTok.
sorry.
You can
Yes,
still,
go on.
I think even monastics can still sing and dance as
Yeah, we
long
sing Pante.
yeah. So it's in the context of why you're singing or dancing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
The
context is
intent,
the right intention.
yes, the intent of the song and dance. So
Yeah.
if your intent in your song and dance is a pure, then there's nothing wrong with that, right? But if
Yeah.
your intent is to do a burlesque, then that's something wrong with that.
But the
Right.
most important is then, okay, we can call our intention is pure,
Yes.
but sometimes it's a little bit vulgar for other people, and it makes people will thinking about, hey, why you do that? So please don't do that. Because you will like make the people thoughts become unpurified. So everything that we need to do, we need to think about the result that others will took. Ruan, you want to say something?
Oh, yes. First point, the aim of the precepts again is to lead us.
Yeah.
Precept plus meditation, mental cultivation, is to lead us away from the three poisons. If you do any of these 10 things and all the other Vinaya break the other Vinaya rules, it means you are acting in accordance with the three poison. If you practice meditation properly, the precept will come naturally in the mind. So in regards to Siddhartha, the intention there is to lead people away from the three poisons, unless somebody, as a expedient means, unless if somebody gets attached to the expedient means, oh, then that is their problem. And also another anecdote regarding intention, at least in the Pali stories, I've come across this about an arahat who used to say bad words, who used to use a lot of expletives, cuss, because in a previous
Harsh word, I
existence,
think, not bad
yes,
word.
cuss words. He used
Yeah.
to, there's an arahat who used to cuss. He would say like wretch, baldy, those kind of mean things. And then the Buddha explained, oh, because in a past life, he was of a quote unquote high caste and he was very conceited. So he would, call people wretch and filth and, those
It's a
kind of
habit.
things. And
Yeah.
it became a habit. So he said, don't worry, when you start to hear him say expletives, don't mind him because he does not mean that.
Yeah.
So those things happen.
Yeah, those things happen in Nikaya, right? So, but the different arahan and us is the intention. The arahan is just like habitual. I don't have any mind, intention to hurt you. But it's just like what I called you before. For example, hi, small. That's what I call you before because I know my relation with you before, right? But maybe us who not haven't purify, haven't pure. Maybe when we talk, hey you, it's already have a hazard there. Yeah, it's the different, and then you cannot say, oh, because I'm it's just like my habit. It's just my habit. Yeah, you cannot say that because it's come back again. You need to ask ourselves that I do it with the intention. Is that my intention is really beneficial for him or her? Yeah, we always need to think about what if I do is really hurt people or not. That's the why we uphold the precepts. I think the most important is because the compassion. Oh yeah, I want to share that in Sami Jing is the sutra of the Sramanera precept. They quote that the Sramanera have the two meanings. The first is ceasing from evil, and the second is cultivate compassion. Yeah. So even though you are Sramanera, Bhikkhu, Bhikkhuni, we do this thing, right? We avoid from the three poisons, and the other one is what is our bodhisattva cultivation. We need to compassion to other people. So that's why I respect you. Then I protect you. Okay. And then any others, the precepts that maybe nowadays it cannot be acceptable or affordable. That's what our topic today, right? Why the Masters in Union bring this topic for Fajan Ilimian insight is bring this 10 Sramanera precepts. It must be because what? Because there's some people said that, oh, this one is the seat of the Buddha, you cannot change. Yeah, but the benefit of the Sramanera, the motivation, the intention why the precept is built is for what? Yeah, we need to asking ourselves, even though maybe the situation and condition is different, but sometimes, for example, eating after 12 noon. Yeah, okay, we can call the Fokwangsan is very busy. And then we need to think, and our digestion system need to need to fulfill some of the food, so I have an energy to preaching the Dharma. But you cannot say it's because like this. But I eat ice cream so many. It's back again. It's a desire. When you put it as desire, it's not correct anymore, because the concept is I just need it to sustain my life, to get enlightenment, because I know this body is very important. So in Buddhism, the most important is the intention and the view. When the view is correct and intention correct, and all the things, it will be wholesome. Yeah, as the 6 paramita, the prajna is important, right? In giving, when we giving, we need to have the prajna. The right view is important. Yeah. Okay, next.
And also, Shifo, I think, I mean, from in the monastery I'm affiliated with, the basic thing we're taught is you look at Buddhism sutras and whatnot from the angle of what does it have to do with removing 3 poisons. So when I look at the precept, it was explained to us, Vikala Bhojanaya, that's the Pali for eating at inappropriate times. It is conventionally practiced in Sri Lanka's not eating, the monastic, not eating after 12. But in our monastery, we practice that, the monastic do that. But they are allowed to eat after that because the point is, exactly, that's the best translation. I will use that now on. Inappropriate time. If you eat, or inappropriate intention, if you eat more, with the 3 poison mind, then that's defilement. But if you eat because you're really hungry and the body needs it, then there's no 3 poison involved in that. And then our Shifu also told us, what's that again? Hunger is an illness and food is the medicine. You look at it that way, right? If you're eating to cure that illness, then that's okay. If you're eating because of a 3 poison mind, oh, I like to eat potato chip. I go to 7-Eleven and grab something. Oh no, then don't do that. That's
Take more
unwholesome.
Coke.
Then yes, and get Diet Coke or whatnot, get some coffee, and if it's out of because you're genuinely hungry, then there's no 3 poison involved. That's natural. That's a niyama. But if you're doing it with 3 poison, oh, don't. So that's the thing. If I find for example, I sometimes look at the Vinaya, even though I'm not supposed to. I see some very insane rules, especially for the bhikkhuni. And I'm sorry, I'm a very bit militant about that. I say, no, this is very sexist, this is very discriminating. But when you look at it, the intention is, okay, so that's what it means. But it does not apply now. There are some rules I cannot say here because they're very, no, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'll not go there. I'll not go there.
Yeah. Okay. So we move to the thank you, Ruan. Move to the next slide, and then it said that more than 2,000 years the precept has been declared. How we look and react to the traditional and modern situation. Sorry, this might monitor. Okay, there are so many traditional precepts that we're still practicing until now, but there are some is not suitable in our life now. In humanistic Buddhism, we will advocate the precepts to be possible to practice. Nowadays, as we look to Sramanera, they cannot have gold or money. This one that I said before within them, but nowadays, when we travel, we need money to travel, right? We need to buy the ticket. is not suitable the culture, custom, and climate. So we need to have a system. So the Fokwangshan, we have a system for the monastic to manage the monastics management. Yeah. So in Fokwangshan's rule, we have another regulation. That's what I said. The Vinaya that we can make in order to make the Sangha in according to the Dharma to make it possible to uphold the precepts. And the Vinaya is must be agreeable among the Bhikkhu and Bhikshuni. And if it's agreeable, and it will be a system of the Sangha. Okay. Okay, next. Precepts are the foundation upon which the survival of the Buddhist order depends on. It must be pointed out that precepts should be upholdable. During the Buddha's time, as bhikkhu spread the Dharma in various places, precepts were adapted according to culture, weather, language, lifestyle, and customs. Therefore, Master Taishu called for the reform of Buddhist system should be heeded. It's a pity that Buddhists find it easier to let go of their attachment to the self than attachment to the Dharma. Okay. The Master Taisi reform at that time is in China because the Buddhism is only for the mountains, only in the mountains. They cannot side by side in our society. So Master Taisi thinks is not correct because Buddhism is must be the answers. The answer must be the answer for human. Yeah. But if you put the Buddhism going to the mountain, who will how Buddhism give the answer for the human suffering to let go from the suffering? So that's why Master Taishu start to reform about the Buddhism. Buddhism is and then this one is the simplest things to do. 3G, do good deeds, speak good words, and think good thoughts. And do you know the 3G is the teaching of all the Buddha from the beginningless of time until now. Do good deeds, speak good words, and think good thoughts. It means like avoid evil deed, do good deeds, and then purify our mind. Yeah. And then as lay, that we need to develop our self-training from the taking refuge, uphold the 5 precepts. Okay. So the next, I think my PPT is, this the last. The Buddha had long instructed that precepts, again, could be amended. And why did no one comply? Because they afraid of the, people will like, you are, how to say my English, you are very stubborn and you are not correct. You will have the different reaction because you are okay. Why did no one comply? Should Buddhism still have meaningless precept that no one can uphold? Okay, stop share and finish master your way. I don't know.
I think Shafu, the one like why no one comply with adjusting the precepts is an example is a story of Miao Kuang Fa Shi when she said that in her YouTube, some people would tell her, or even in her lecture, some people would tell her that she will go to hell because why is she talking about human interaction, like human stories, instead of sticking to the, just fixing on the sutra, solo sutra like that. So I think that's why the open-mindedness is a gift that like Master Taishi and Tashi also have this kind of mindset, but a lot of other people in the tradition of Buddhism, they're close-minded and they're scared that people will comment.
Yeah. Anyone to to react to?
Shifu,
Yeah. Hello.
the Samaneras in Mahayana traditions, aside from the 10 precepts, do they also observe the 75 minor rules, the Sikhiya?
Yeah, it's also written
The
in the
Sikya.
Sekya is 7-5 minor precepts. That's like it's more to the
Yeah.
politeness. For example, oh yeah, Sramanera needs to be
Yes.
stand back from the bhiksu. Yeah, the bhiksu. And then when he want to send food to the master, he must to knock the door 3 times. If there is no answer, then you cannot hello, hello, hello. You cannot do that because it's not polite. Yes, that have the minor precepts. Before when I took my precepts in Fokwangsan, because I cannot Chinese. So in order to make me uphold my precepts, that's the compassion Fokwangsan monastery. They give me this one. That's already translating in English. Okay, so that's why I said we have a 25 minor inside. And this one I cannot telling you what is inside. It's only when you want to uphold the precepts, it will have the Dharma class to talking about the precepts. When we doing this one, I'm aware about this. So that's why the 3 studies is the precepts that the first paragraph that said the precept is as what? The foundation. The foundation. Yeah, why is base of the foundation? Because when you uphold your precepts, your mind will be steady and firm and easily to meditation. When you're doing meditation, it will be very easily to focus. Yeah, because you are successfully guarding your 6 senses to outside. Yeah, and then yeah, after your meditation is good, and then it's easily for you to get to always allow your mind, to always guiding your mind to find a wise. We become wise, wisdom. Yeah, we will have, and when things, the wisdom inside the things, the decision that we make, it will be good for all. It will be a good welfare for all. So this one that the Buddha want to us, the goal that we need to take. And about the, you see, the Sekya, the minor precepts, it's all is protect for us. It's not weird at all. Because in the Buddha's time, is the tradition is like that. And what the purpose is? The purpose is because it's not easily for us to apa? It's easily for us to observe our 6 senses. So the precept is not for make us doesn't cannot move or like only in your place, but the precepts is make us can transformation. Yeah.
And
So
Shifu, I think, oh, sorry.
yeah.
Oh, yes, and it is overwhelming. It is overwhelming. I've tried reading the Vinaya, the monastic precepts, the Patimokkha, and yes, including the Sikya. These are all, it is very overwhelming to read all of them. There are like over 100 of them.
Yeah.
100 rules, or not 500, I'm not sure what the number is. But if you look at the basic idea, if you read a rule and say, what does this have to do with controlling the Ragadesha Moha, at least in Pali, Ragadesha Moha, Tantan Chi in Chinese, if I'm not mistaken, at least the Santu. What does this have to do with controlling Santu? And then it says, that's what that rule is. You don't have to memorize all of these, because if you're trying to remove Santu in the mind and you're familiar with the rules, then okay, it makes sense. It'll come naturally. Because if you try to do it robotically, just like Master Singh, Dasha said right in the text earlier, if you stick to the form, right, then you're going to go crazy. We're all going to go crazy, right? Because like, oh no, the Buddha said this, the Buddha said that. You're going to go insane.
Yeah. So it's fun, right? When we learn Buddhism, it's yeah. You can choose that. Yeah, you can really understand yourself. So when we understand about ourselves, understand about our weakness, maybe everyone is different. Yeah. And when we understand ourselves, we observe ourselves, our attitude, then we can find the answer. We can transform. Yeah. So it's yeah, Buddhism is freedoms. That like what I write down is of freedom. It's up to you. You want to uphold, and then you will be liberating. If you don't want to uphold, yeah, you're just stuck in that. Okay. Any question beside this one is a little bit deep. So yeah. And then any question or any some things that like question that you want to ask?
Just one last thing. If we,
Mm.
since word, some of us will definitely, I mean, I included, get attached to words sometimes. Words are form. Let us not forget, if we get attached to the form, form is emptiness, emptiness is form. How do you say it in Chinese again? Kong se bui kong, kong bui
气
se.
是空，空气是色。
Ah, this. If we go crazy, let's remember that and we'll gain our sanity again.
Or you will get confused of that.
I remember Shifu, there's a Theravada Shifu. She's from Thailand, but she's in the she grew up in the Philippines, but they're Thai, so she's in the Theravada. Munisara, right? Munisara Bhikkhuni. She once said that before she was in her lay life, she was very addicted to potato chips. That's why I mentioned potato chips earlier. She was very addicted to potato chips, and every now and then, if she gets the craving, she will go to 7-Eleven and get something like that. She explicitly mentioned that example, but then she said, because of the precept, sila samadhi panya, at least in Pali, precept, sila, precept, meditation for anyway, whatever that means. The precept
Meditation
is
concentration.
when she started to practice the precept, she said it's not like a prison. In fact, it made her free, right? She was free from the prison of her desire for potato chips, at least. And it's very beautifully put, because sometimes people will say, oh, Buddhism is like, it's like a prison. You're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that, you
You're
live in
not
a cave
allowed.
like that. I said, no, that's not what it is. If you look at it properly, it's to liberate us, right? And also another thing, just last thing, beautiful quotes. Ajahn Brahmavanso, I'm not sure, you might be familiar with him, British monk who's in Australia right now. So Ajahn Brahmavanso said, once he will send monks, he will send shifus to hospitals and prisons, to spread dharma, teach meditation. And there's this one bhikkhu shifu who was in a prison. The prisoners loved him, started to love him, because he came every weekend and they taught them meditation. And they said, what do monks do for fun? Do you have TV? No, we don't have TV. Are you allowed to get married, have girlfriends? Definitely not. Are you allowed, how many times do you have, like 3 meals, snacks and whatnot? No, we don't. We only have 1 meal. And I was like, my God, your life is so depressing. They felt so sorry for him. They said, please leave the monastery and come with us into the prison. And then that's when Ajahn Brahmavanso said, if you practice Buddhism, I mean, prisoners are in the prison not because they want to, and they're restricted there. But monastic, they're in the vihara, they're in the temple, not as prison because they want to, right?
They're
That's a
free.
liberation they want. So it's beautiful. Thank you. I went
Because
overboard.
yeah, this good, yeah. The quote, yeah. It's just like we always see things in one side, is it? Yeah, but it looks like it's like to make you not like you looks like in the prisons, but in other side, if you look that what we cultivate is is about liberation. Yeah, so the lesson of today is don't judge from the cover. No lah, just kidding. Okay. Any
It's like
question?
the other side of the coin. It seems like it is a restriction, but the other side, it is a freedom.
Yeah.
It frees us.
Yeah, it depends on your seeing. And it's depend when you use your wisdom, you can look as a whole. We still learning lah. We still learning how to diligently to change that's the not good to become good. And if you are already good, you become better. And until finally you are be liberated. That's our goal, right?
So now I understand
Shifu.
why precept comes first before meditation. Now I understand.
Yeah. Yes, Rowell.
Like, do you also practice, like, you practice confession like twice a month during full moon and new moon?
Compassion?
Like if
Sorry?
you
They
break
have,
the
sorry,
confess, you have
they have
to
a
confess.
repentant, I'm sorry. In Mahayana, there's something called repentance service. So you confess at the beginning of the repentance service, you confess your sins
You
mentally.
mean in upasata? Upasata?
Yeah, yeah. Do you
Uh,
practice the confession during upasata
yeah, we do.
days in also in Mahayana?
Yeah, we do.
Also, I mean, in Theravada, we have this when I'm a
Yes.
Theravada practitioner, by the way.
It's written, right? It's written in the upasata. That's if we have something wrong to our senior, we need to confess it. Then it will be purified. So when the precepts that we uphold, then we broke it. There's one how to say one there is a one you can confess it and you said I'm so sorry, then I vow to be better and I'm not doing this anymore. But this one as a sangha we need to confess to in front others.
So,
Yeah,
Shefu,
so
that's my question.
Huh?
My question is that one, because like in the Catholic Church, you go inside the
Catholic
confession
also.
box and you confess to a priest. But for your case, like the bhikshu and bhikshunis, how do you do your confession in front of the sangha? Like in Mabuhay Temple, if you do that, you do it in front of all your fellow
Monastic.
monastics. Is that
Yes.
how you do it? Or you just
Yeah.
do it to Yongguang Fa Shi or just to Miaojing Fa Shi?
Okay. The reason that okay, I will telling you about in the Buddhist college that because the Buddhist college, you know, in Fo Guang Shan, there is a lake and there's also monastic. We are in the same room, in the same class to learn about the precepts. And you know, as a human, we always do mistake, right? It's a human, right? And then what the purpose that we do the pusa, we said the confession, it's because when we practice, we want to purify our deeds, right? Our speech, our thought. Why? Because when we purify it, it's easily for us to move this next stage. Okay, it's the first one. The second one is you need to be honest and not trouble to people. It's because sometimes that your habitual tendency, and then you know exactly, right, when you speak and then it's hurt people. You know exactly because why? Because it will be like make people angry to you, or people will dislike you. Okay, so we avoid this in the community, so we need to say sorry in order to make people is not be we are not trouble for people to cultivate. So it's a win-win solution. Instead that I'm purifying my cultivation and I also not troubling you or to make an obstacle for you to cultivate. Because yeah, we are in same community. And we do it. It's not about only the monastic need to do this, right? It's for example, when you do wrong in your for your classmate, you need to so sorry to her. Yeah. So it's not only you waiting until 15 days and then you say there, oh, I'm so sorry.
So if the monastics do this, like you really do this, right?
Yeah.
There's a rule for that, the precept for that you really have to abide. If you did something wrong, or you go and confess it to everyone, and then they help you, because when you confess it in front of your community, they help you also cultivate, right? Like you say, I'm sorry, I hurt you, I did something, and then they will help you get better.
Yes.
Right?
But
So
in the yeah, okay.
But what about, because like for example, again, in the Catholic Church, we go there and then your like spiritual advisor would guide you, right? For the lay. So like for us that are lay in Fo Guang Shan, are we also supposed to go and confess and be helped by the shifus?
Again, sorry.
My question is, because in the Sangha, you have that precept, and so you really do it. Like you go and confess to your fellow Sangha members, right? Your fellow monastics. And then they will surround you and help you cultivate and correct your ways. Right? What about us? What about the lay people? Are we also supposed to like approach a certain shifu or somebody that we also have to say, we did this, how can we like a confession also of some sort? Are we also like required to do that? Like how it is in the Christian or Catholic method of going to the confessional for the lay?
For this one, because I'm not familiar with Catholic,
Mm.
but if you want to just find the master to like sharing,
Yeah.
it's acceptable. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
can
not like,
you can
it's
ask.
not a requirement, because in the Catholic Church, it's
Yeah.
a kind of like part of your obligation to go to confessional regularly as a lay person, and then you share with the priest, either face to face or inside the confessional box if you want to remain anonymous because you're so ashamed of what you have done. So there's two ways you can do it. Like per my own experience as a Catholic, you can do it inside the confessional box and the priest does not know who is on the other side. Or you can have your spiritual advisor that you can go and have counseling with, like, sessions with, and you can like share with them so that they can really guide you. So in the case of humanistic Buddhism, of course, we can go like discuss with a shifu where we are more with affinity and discuss like what are challenges in life and how we can be guided. But there's no requirement like a confession.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then in Buddhism, when we do repentance, the more states is, beside we do repentance, we also make a vow. We also make a vow to not violate again. Yeah. So the most important that we make a vow and we not violating the mistake again. Then that's the repentance will be benefit for us. It's not just like, okay, we violate this precepts. For the layperson, we have 5 precepts, right? And then it's okay because it's just clear. After I repentance and it will be clear, it will be purified. We are not stopped until there. Yeah, we need to have a more step. Is what? A vow. So I vow. After I repent, then I need to vow to not filing again, and it will be make us improve. Yeah. Okay, Master Yohui, my duty.
Okay, I think we should stay in our topic today. It's a little bit way too far.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, back to the article. That is about the spiritual, how we hold the precept, how we take the precept.
Yeah.
And then about nowadays, should we follow the old rules or it need to fit with nowadays? Not everything take like us before. Okay, so take the precept is more the meaning. Think about the meaning, huh? All right. Yeah, like Master Xing Yun said, 戒的意义是什么？ Okay, so that's what we really talking about today. Yeah, the topic is not to talk about the precept. It's
Yes,
talk
correct.
about the spiritual. Okay, and not to infringe on others. That is the precept, and then protect us to become liberate. All right? Okay. Oh, and then I think I want to talk about what Ube just said with the Catholic. What I heard is after you confess to a priest, and then there's no more guiltiness anymore, right? Like you're not guilty
Supposedly,
anymore.
yeah, supposedly if you truly repent, that's where
Mhm.
it's taken into like for convenience sake, some people will say, I went already, so I'm innocent again. But
So
as
like,
but
yeah, if I
actually,
heard someone and then I
yeah,
confess to a priest, and then
Mhm.
after that, there's no more
no more
guilty.
consequence.
Yeah,
No more consequence.
I'm not going to hell anymore, right? Like
Yes,
that.
Shifu,
Yeah,
some people have that mentality, but the
yeah,
general thing is after you
no,
confess, the priest will give you like you do some penance, right?
yeah, penance, and
You
then
do
you're
penance.
supposed, yes, and you're supposed not to repeat the
Yes,
same
you're
mistake.
supposed to not repeat it again,
Yes,
otherwise you're abusing the grace
yes,
given by
But it's,
Christ. If
yes,
you
yeah,
abuse,
okay.
that's
But
a
people
sin.
keep doing wrong things.
because it's convenient for them, Shefu. So again,
Yes.
the essence of the confessional is forgotten.
Mhm.
Yeah, so in the
Not everyone realize that they make mistake, right?
yeah, yeah,
So Buddhism is better. Why? Because you take your own karma, not rely on others. Yeah. Even you do the confess or whatever you did already, there is cause and condition. It's still there. You need to take responsibility. So you need to watch what you do, what you speak, what you think in the beginning. Yeah, right? Okay, so we should do 3 acts of goodness will protect us. And that is the more strong or the most important precept. Right?
It's up.
Okay,
to
well,
us.
it's 9:30.
Yeah.
Can we stop for now? It's been a whole day. Okay. All right. Hey, where's my
Dedication,
Okay,
right?
so thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Verbal. To me. Yeah. She's working hard on this. So, okay, please, palms join. Sorry, I need to share the song. And I cannot find my PPT.
Wait,
It doesn't show on the share.
Let's recite it.
Okay.
Master.
I will just recite it.
All right, I find it already. Okay. Palms join.
And build affinities to benefit all beings. Nature, learn precepts, inspire quality. They are
Yeah, our humanity. Let's still get high.
Mention pure and
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much,
Thank
Rebel
you.
Sumin and Rebel Yohoy.
Even the recording got tired.
night, everyone. Thank you, Master.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
See you
Shisha.
next week.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
3, 2, 1.